Hi, everybody. It's Benita. A little bit late with your May forecast. I'm using a beautiful deck this time. It's the Starman Tarot. This deck was actually created by the guy who used to do David Bowie's album covers. So the art in it is extremely beautiful. It's not a cheap deck. I think this was a $50 deck, but well worth it. There's a lot of David Bowie's history in the book that is written that goes with the cards, and a lot of detail with the cards themselves. So the three cards that I have brought forward for May, and they do have reverse meanings with this deck as well, so you know how much I like that. Reverse meanings is like getting two decks for the price of one. So we have the Prince of Pentacles, and I will show you that close up. You can see the beautiful detail this artist goes into. So the Prince of Pentacles is all about saying it's time. It's time to get your projects going. It's time to plan whatever you're going to do differently in the coming year. And let's face it, we now have opportunities opening up to us as more people get vaccinated. As we start to bring our numbers down, things are going to open up for us. So what are you going to do with this year that's starting to, at least in some ways, open up new possibilities? This is the time to plan. Also the time to have a little patience while you plan. So what steps can you take now? And what can you put in place so that when everything gets moving again, you can get the ball rolling? This is what this is all about. And if you look closely, you'll see the animatronic horse here has a loudspeaker on it. This suggests this is time to get that podcast going, that book. Get out there, make yourself known for whatever it is that's important for you to get going on this year. And so this is almost like starting a new year, because now that we have this influx of vaccines, we're going to see things changing. We're going to see things opening up. It's as though a new year is beginning. And of course, I always love spring. Spring to me is always a time of new beginnings. So we are moving into that time where the world is coming alive. We are coming alive. This is the time to get these things going. So whatever it is you want to put in place, get it moving now. Now the next card is the Eight of Cups. And I will show you that up close. Again, lots of interesting detail here. And you can see there appears to be a lot happening in this card, but it came out reversed. So the meaning for this one is that there are all kinds of things going on in terms of, and I think everybody is feeling this to some degree. We are overwhelmed. We are tired. We are so very, very tired of the pandemic, let's face it. And I'm noticing for a lot of people, there's a certain malaise, a certain feeling of, I just don't have the energy. I don't really want to take care of my body, take care of other things. This kind of gets in the way of the first card that says this is the time to get things going. And we are heading into a bit of a retrograde. So start putting things in place, but be patient with yourself. It's going to take some time for everything to get moving again. So look at addressing whatever your hurdles are. What is getting in the way of you getting that project going? Start taking those steps. Get at least one thing happening. What is one thing that you can deal with? Is it eating better? Is it getting more sleep? If you find that this whole pandemic thing is stressing you out, it's sapping you of energy, go to bed earlier. I'm wonderful for being a night hawk. I often thrive on 3 or 4 hours sleep a night. I went to bed last night at 8 p.m. I slept till like 6:30. That was like 3 nights of sleep for me. But my body was saying, take a break, get some deep, deep rest. So what is it that you need to do? Is it to plant a garden? To go for more walks? To nurture yourself in some other way? Is it, say you're trying to get that book written, and I'm writing the book too, so I hear you if you're struggling with that. It doesn't matter if you just sit down for 20 minutes a day. It's the whole idea of taking small steps. A lot of times we overwhelm ourselves by going, oh my God, I've got this thing I need to do and I don't have an hour a day to do it. Fine, take 15 minutes. It's like whetting your appetite for doing more of that. It's getting more energy going on the thing you love by even just doing a little bit of it. Create some outdoor space where you can sit outside in the sun and work on that thing that interests you. But just start doing something that says, I care about myself, I care about the body I'm in, I care about my life. It doesn't have to be a lot. Thank you, Teresa and Carly, for the great feedback. I'm so glad you guys are tuning in. And I see you there, Karen and Heather. You guys are awesome. Now, what I'm loving about the last card that goes with this month's spread is the Princess of Wands. Take a look at this beautiful card. So this woman is a powerhouse. This is your intuition. This is the feminine energy that says, I can receive. This is the energy that has the confidence, the vision to go forward and make that first card, our Prince of Pentacles, happen. So in other words, what these cards are saying is you've got a project, you've got something new you need to do this year, you've got something you've got to get going. Don't let that malaise, that pandemic fatigue, rob you of that energy that's waiting for you if you can just have a little patience, have a little bit of foresight, a little bit of oomph in your life to take on that obstacle that's getting in the way. Get on the other side of that, you are going to be so happy you did, because you're going to be able to go full steam ahead with whatever it is you've been meaning to get to. So check in with yourself. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Check in with yourself. And, you know, if anybody has any comments they want to make right now about something that they're struggling with right now to get over that line and get moving with that thing, throw it in the comments. I'm watching and I'll respond to whatever it is that you come up with. But just remember that everybody's got that pandemic fatigue right now. So we're all moving forward at the same pace. Take it slow, keep it simple, just be gentle with yourself. And please celebrate every little triumph, okay? For me, it was getting up at 4:30 yesterday morning and getting back on the motorcycle. I didn't ride at all last year. I felt really rusty, so I went out really early in the morning to get used to riding my bike again. And that's what I'll be doing, getting on really, really early in the morning, 4:30, 5 o'clock, before there's a lot of traffic, getting used to riding, catching the sunrise on my bike. And it still, for me, requires a lot of courage to ride. I ride a really big bike. I like it because it handles those strong crosswinds in the mountains, but it still means I have to get myself going with it. And for me, it seems like a little triumph. It feels like a big one for me. So what are your little triumphs? What is the small thing that you can do that says, I did something today. I took a step today. You know, 15 minutes writing that book. 10, 15-minute workout. Look for 15 minutes. We can all find 15 minutes. So again, it doesn't have to be big. It can be a small step. And if you do it 3 times a week, 15 minutes 3 times a week, I know it doesn't sound like much, but it's getting things going. And what you'll find is if you keep doing that thing that feels good for you, you'll want more of that, and you'll find yourself moving further. What we tend to do is we want to take the big steps. I've got to get this done now, and I have to do it in a big way. That's almost guaranteed that you'll do it for about 24, 48 hours, and then you'll go back to where you were because you'll feel overwhelmed. You're welcome, Heather. You know, you'll feel overwhelmed if you're trying to do too much too soon. I wanted to build my upper body strength, so I'm back to my Joyce Vidral workouts. And it's nice because it's 4 days a week, and it's a series of weight exercises and stretches that work different parts of the body. If I miss a morning, that's okay. I'll get back to it because my body goes, damn, this feels good. I got to do more of this. Got to get my pump back, you know? So what's that thing you've been meaning to do for yourself? The other thing I'm going to suggest is take a mini vacation, even if you're just at home, you know, or go up to a cabin where there's, you know, you've got the spacing. Last summer, when we were encouraged to do the social distancing but do the traveling thing, a friend of mine in my bubble, we went up to a cabin, Montana, I think it's called Montana Ranch, up in the Caribou. We had little cottages with our own little hot tubs and, you know, beautiful views. There were horses we could hang out with. It was a farm. So for me, I'm a big fan of farm stays. I was up at 6 a.m. every morning to go milk the cow and, you know, check out the chickens and hang out with the horses. There are ways that you can get out and have that time, take a break without having to worry about the social distancing because it's already set up for you at these locations. So within, of course, your health authority, take some time for yourself. And that's fantastic. Sandy is saying, yes, we booked some days off to escape work. And Heather is saying, some days I feel lost. As a mature nursing student, life is overwhelming. It's emotionally draining. This is amazing advice. Thank you, Heather. And thank you for what you're doing. To everybody out there in the helping professions, everybody working on the front lines of COVID, bless you. And just know that most of us are doing everything we can to support you by playing safe, wearing the mask, getting the shots, keeping the distance, because we know this is tremendously overwhelming for you. And our heart goes out to you. I hope you will also find some ways to take some time for yourselves. And every day, look for the golden moment. I'm going to describe what I mean by that. I did a podcast about this some time ago. I remember when the pandemic first started and we were all on lockdown, if you want to call it that. We were all staying home. And I remember going for a walk and the fields were just starting to green here in Kelowna, BC. I could hear children playing in their yard, a man working on some woodworking in his garage. The sun was shining. It was a beautiful day. I'm going for a walk and I'm, you know, here in West Kelowna, looking over at Mount Boucherie, looking at the vineyards starting to green up. And I'm thinking to myself, this is a perfect moment. In this moment, in my little world, nothing's wrong. My asthmatic lungs are doing their very best to get up the hill with a little bit of huffing and puffing, but my body is generally doing what it's here to do. There are families getting time with each other they wouldn't normally have. This fellow in the garage is maybe working on a woodworking project he hasn't been able to touch in months. In this moment, everything is perfect. Now, we have enough moments where it's not. And we've sat by the bedside of loved ones who are suffering, dying. We've gone through tragedies, divorces, situations with our kids. Everybody's got heartache. But life is a series of moments in which we were actually present. Most of the time we're not. You get up in the morning, you're putting your jam on your toast, you're already out the door. You're already thinking about what you're going to do next. You lost that moment. And what was going on in that moment? If you stopped and if you paid attention, you would have woken up in that moment. You would have gone, oh, isn't this amazing the way the steam from the toast is gathering on my hand and the feel of the crunchiness of it and the way the light from the window is glinting off the jam on my toast and that first bite, that first burst of flavor and texture. Those are the moments in which we are truly alive. And I always say there's two kinds of people in the world. There are those who are fully alive, and there are those who are just trying not to die. Which are you going to be? Most of our lives, we're sleepwalking. We're not really present. We're already out the door. We're already planning the next thing, or we're worrying about what we've done in the past. Forgive yourself. Everything you've ever done, everything you have ever been through has made you who you are today, Have you made a mistake? Have you hurt somebody? Did you learn from it? If you learned from it, you're a more compassionate person today. You're a better person for having made that mistake. So forgive yourself everything up to this moment. You can't change the past. And instead, ask, what have I learned from that? How am I better? And what am I bringing going forward? You will be richer for that, and so will everybody around you. So grab the golden moments. Every moment where in that moment everything is just beautiful. Embrace it. Be present for it. Allow yourself the pleasure of this moment. The pleasure of how it feels to be in your body, how the food you eat tastes, how the light coming in the window is so beautiful, how the people you love are doing what they're doing in the world to the best of their ability. In every moment, let yourself receive, receive, receive everything and everybody that wants to love you. Let yourself receive all of it. We are so bad at letting ourselves receive. And when we don't, we have less to give. You can't give water from a dry well. So with the cards that came up today, you've got something going, get it going. You don't get around to it all the time, that's okay. Patience with yourself. Celebrate each moment that you did what you wanted to do and that you let yourself relax and enjoy and receive. That's the cycle of life. To offer something, you have to let yourself receive in kind. So embrace the beautiful moments, apply yourself where you can, and be gentle with yourself when you're dealing with loss, confusion, malaise. Be gentle with yourself. Everything in the universe is giving us exactly what we need so we can wake up. And every moment you're growing and you're getting better as a person. So trust that and love yourselves. And thank you all for watching today and listening in. I love you guys. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.